abagamira kyandikire obujulizo natugambire nti ataheebwe ekiwandiiko kyona ekyandikirwe ekikumuha obusobozi rundi ekikumweta omulimu guno baitu akatunga amahuure rundi okugambirwa okuruga ha rutimu olulimi kalimagezi esimu kandi obwo kino kikaba nikikorwa omukwezi omumwaka gwa 2024 ebyobezi 16 okwezi kwa Katano okwezi kwa Katano ngo byakoze bamazireho okuba nibamuheebwa omukuromo nanyuma bakaitirana omulimu gwogumu ebyokwezi 16 omwaka 2024 kandi nti omulimu guno we ogwakola rundi gwe yakozere kuli okusasulwa akahikirirwa omwezi gwa Katano ebyokwezi omwaka 2024 kandi ekiwandiiko ekyakozere okwezi 16 okwezi kwa Kasatu omwaka 2024 kandi mukolekane kino atabeere ebiragiro kutunga amahuure agabandize okuruga okwija halali okuraba mu mpeeza ey'amasanyalazi akaba akaitirana n'abanyamateeka ab'olubajjo olungalirizi kandi obwo omulundi gwabo gw'okubanza okwitirana obweyezire hano okuheereza obwakaise baitu mukola omulimu guno akafuna n'ebintu ebindi rundi n'amahuuro agandi agakwatagana ha musango guno baitu ebimu ebyatahandikire omukihandiiko kye kyonka ebifulumu n'ebyasange bibikwatagana ha musango guno kandi biri by'amaani ebyatundire okuruga hali olubajjo lw'abatonganirizi byo bihandikirwe omu kihandiiko ekyakozire akaheebwa ebiragiro okwetegereza ebintu rundi okuzoora okwa omuntu omu ku gundi kandi ataheebwe ebizibiti ebyenyini kandi atugambye nti tikihikire rundi tikiri nti ngu mpaka omuntu waba nakora nagaruka mu rundi nayetegereza ebizibiti mpaka enakuba nabyo byenyini baitu asobola ekintu kyona ekiba kimuhairwe mazima gali akaitaikirane omuhiwa obujulizi olubajjo olwa gavumenti kandi ona akaba namba 8 atamwitiraneho baitu byona ebyatungire byona ebyamumanyireho akabitunga okuruga hali abanyamuteeka abatunganizi abakola nabo kandi nti
laboratory findings after analyzing samples, right?
This is standard practice
What
that we
you have,
use the results as presented by the
what
Crown.
you have as a report is a critique of PW8's report and not your independent laboratory findings after analyzing samples. Is that correct?
Yes, as would be standard
Okay.
practice.
Not independent laboratory finding after her analyzing samples. You had earlier actually told this court that you never looked at any exhibits. That's true?
Yeah, that's true. And
right.
again, it's standard practice that the reviews now consist of paper reviews as opposed to any analytical work at all.
That's okay. Are you a gazetted?
It's standard practice now that a review is purely a paper exercise and no analytical work is undertaken. Generally, in cases
Analysis.
such as this, there is no material left to go back to.
Analysis. Okay. You testified to this court that when a lab is not ISO certified, they cannot produce authentic results. Is that your view?
That wasn't the case. It's not the actual
Is
accreditation.
that your view?
As long as they can demonstrate that their process is transparent and reproducible,
Yes.
the accreditation on paper is not required.
Okay. Please complete.
Sorry?
So what is the response when a lab is not ISO certified, but it can demonstrate?
If it can yes, it can demonstrate every process is in place that would warrant and gain them accreditation. The accreditation itself is just in effect a stamp to demonstrate that they are following processes. But in this instance, I couldn't gain access to any of their documents to demonstrate they were.
We will go to that, Miss. As long as the
processes which would result
one?
in it qualifying
For
certification.
yeah, that's correct.
Certification is just
It's a stamp to demonstrate that it has been reviewed, audited, and compliant.
ISO certifications can be given either to a lab or to an individual analyst. Not so.
It's just the ISO is for analytical processes.
Is that the position?
The ISO is given to the laboratory undertaking the work, and as part of ISO,
So
the competency of the individuals is deemed relevant. So it's to a laboratory.
So ISO, if I am to get you right, is to the laboratory.
It's to the laboratory to demonstrate that they are following standard procedures.
And as such, it does not speak to the individual competencies of you as an analyst.
It
Right?
doesn't, but part of the ISO is the company need to demonstrate that their scientists are competent, so they do need to demonstrate that. That's part of ISO.
Okay.
It does not speak to the individual
Competencies.
of the analyst, however.
The part of the ISO is each individual laboratory needs to demonstrate that the scientist carrying out the work has demonstrated competency in that area.
All right. I will take you to page 36 of your report.
36. Yes,
Paragraph 13.
yes,
The firm that you work for is not ISO certified.
that's correct.
That's correct. In fact, here I am referring to ISO 17025.
That's
certification.
correct. That's a laboratory
Your
standard.
firm does not have.
We do not have laboratories and therefore we cannot be
Alright.
compliant with that.
Okay. Were you informed that the analyst who did this work holds superior qualifications in forensic sciences and actually was trained from the UK system?
In what respect superior, sorry? Academic?
He holds a master's in forensic sciences. Were you informed about that?
No, that bears no relevance on my review.
Okay. Were you Are you also aware that the analyst who undertook this work and testified in this court is ISO 17025 senior lead assessor
In what area?
in forensic sciences? Are you aware?
No, but the relevance
aware
of
of
1702, it
or
depends
not?
on which specific area,
In the area of forensic science.
but that's a very general review. Is it specific to biology or chemistry? In which area is he an assessor?
In the area of biology and in specific forensic sciences. Are you aware?
There is no general forensic science assessor. You're a specialism in each individual field. So I don't know which area he's an assessor. Unless it's biology, that bears
So
no
you
relevance.
either know or you don't know.
No,
What
but
is your answer?
my answer,
Are you aware?
I
or
was,
not?
from hearing his testimony, I'm aware.
Okay.
However, the relevance to this particular aspect, assessors are very specific to each discipline.
Okay. So you said from hearing his testimony.
Yes,
Meaning that you listened through his testimony.
yes, as would be standard practice.
And you are aware of what he testified in this court.
Yes,
The question to her was if she is aware that he is ISO 17025 senior lead assessor.
I was aware from evidence, but I was not aware on which discipline specifically he's an assessor. The 17025 covers all analytical aspects of forensic science.
You are aware from listening to his testimony both that he is an ISO.
Yes.
However,
I don't recall, or I didn't hear in which specific discipline he's an assessor. because each individual forensic discipline has their own assessors, and they must be highly experienced in that particular area to be an assessor.
I want you to confirm to this court that for somebody to be a senior assessor, they must be highly specialized.
In that
For them.
particular area that they're an assessor, yes. So it depends which area he is an assessor.
You have just told court that you listened through his testimony.
Yes,
How did you listen through his testimony?
it was via one of the online YouTube, as I've been following the whole case.
Who provided you with the link?
I was provided initially by KAA as an ability because I asked to have a court link to listen to the witness as I would ordinarily do. And this was the live link I was provided.
The purpose for you listening through was to enable you provide a defense theory, right?
No.
And it was also supposed to guide you in coming up with your conclusions.
No.
Not so.
Not at all, no.
Going by the date of your report,
Yes,
being 17th of March,
yes,
2026, by the time you come up with your report, you are privy to all the evidence that had been provided to this court,
yes,
isn't it?
yes.
Other than the bachelor's degree you hold, do you hold any other advanced academic degree in forensics?
No,
We have already established that your lab is not ISO 17025 accredited. And
I have no laboratories, so there is no
okay,
accreditation.
your firm or facility,
Yes, so we do paper reviews only. We
That's
do not
okay.
process anything.
do you as an individual hold any ISO 1702 certification?
As an individual, you can't hold that. And
Do
again,
you hold any?
there is no accreditation
Just
that I
answer
can.
me, yes
there,
or no.
There is no accreditation I can hold.
Accreditation she can hold. The reason why you cannot hold any accreditation is because you're not an analyst, right?
An analyst in that
Yes or no?
physically processing DNA samples.
You are
Correct. Correct. But no individual in that laboratory holds ISO accreditation.
No, you have already answered me. You're not an
Yes.
analyst.
I don't physically do it, but I have the ability to review and interpret DNA
In
profiles.
Please repeat your answer.
So whilst I do not carry out the technical process, I'm able to interpret and review DNA profiling results.
So meaning that you have never done actual bench work of analysis.
Oh, I have, yes. When I very first started at the Forensic Science Service in 1997, I was analysing and actually doing the technical work, for which I did for 6 years.
This was for how long?
6 years.
Only.
That was from 1997.
1997 to 2003, I was doing the technical work within the laboratory.
So that puts you at 6 years only of analysis in terms of experience, right?
Yes, that would be deemed an experienced analyst.
1997?
So 97 to 2003, I was processing samples at the Forensic Science Service.
She has experience of 6 years.
But at the same time, from 2000, I was taking cases to court.
All right. So please just
From 1997. From 2000
okay. So please just come cases to
Was
court.
it from 2000 to 2000?
Yes, between 2000 and 2003, I was doing both roles. Was one of the technical leads at the Forensic Science Service.
Please, I would like you to confirm that the last time you therefore did any technical analysis was in 2002?
2003 was the last time.
2003 was the last
Yes,
time.
yeah,
Okay.
actual physical hands-on laboratory work. But since that time, I've interpreted all DNA profiling results.
Okay.
But I must say I'm a little bit lost. Doing the technical lab work.
From 97 to 2003,
My lord, the witness has understood the question and has provided the answer.
The real analysis is from 1997. But from 2000 to 2003, was taking cases. What other analysts are?
And the last time she ever did any analysis, a technical analysis, was in 2003. Yes.
From 2003, I've not done
Any
technical
technical.
analysis, but I have interpreted DNA results.
Yes.
She hasn't.
My lord, how is that connected to what we are talking about here?
Yeah, because we may be talking about the same thing. We need to know, because in the lab, there's also the evidence told us.
What she said she was doing the technical analysis.
Yes,
Which
there's
I
absolutely-
understand.
My lord, my question was very clear on technical analysis, and I believe the expert understood me well.
Let the witness explain.
But my lord,
Just
what
in a
is
sentence or two, what technical, what she meant by she has not done technical analysis since then.
so as you've just heard, within the laboratory, you have an analytical team who actually do the hands-on analysis of the work. And then we have the reporting, the court-going scientists. And it's standard practice that the court-going scientists do not do the technical work. We know the process inside out and can explain it, but we don't do the hands-on work. But we are the people who evaluate the final results in the context of the case and take that forward. So I have worked with DNA profiling results since 1997.
And my question to you was the last time you ever engaged in 2003, right?
Yes, which any reporting scientist.
So, if I may continue, still going by your report, at page 36,
Yes,
going through to page 37,
yes,
because your firm is lacking on accreditation status,
yes, we can't gain any, yes.
your work was supposed to be peer reviewed by an independent peer reviewer.
Yes, that's correct, and it was.
Okay. My Lord, I'm requesting for Defense Exhibit 29. What was supposed to be peer review? The reason for the peer review process is to authenticate or verify your findings or your opinions. Is that
Yes,
correct?
yes, as in all scientific disciplines, the second scientist
Yes,
confirms
it's
the
sufficient
finding.
for me, ma'am.
So yes, that it's to independently review what I have, in my opinion, reported.
This is a report you provide
Yes,
to authenticate findings and opinions. That is a report that you provided to this
correct.
court.
Yes,
Please confirm that your report is not signed by your peer reviewer.
this is standard practice in England and Wales.
Please just
The
confirm, is
peer
it signed
reviewer,
or it's not?
the peer reviewer does not need to sign. There isn't a requirement for the peer reviewer to sign the statement in England and Wales, yet Scotland there is. So it's an internal peer review, as with all cases running through whether prosecution or defence.
So the question to you is very simple. That your peer reviewer did not sign that report. Is that correct?
Correct, as standard
Just
practice.
that's enough.
We do not sign, the peer reviewer does
I have
not
said
sign.
that's enough.
Certainly, don't worry, any gaps will be cleared by
And-
the defense in re-examination.
And I assured you, give me short answers, we move. You give me long answers, we rotate.
But in England and Wales, there's no requirement
That's
for
right.
you are to sign as opposed to Scotland.
Please confirm to this court also that your report does not mention anywhere that was ever peer reviewed.
As with standard, no, we don't mention it.
You didn't mention it.
No, because it's
You
accepted.
did not mention it.
No, we don't.
Okay.
It's a standard practice.
However, you made that report knowing that it's going to operate in the Ugandan jurisdiction and not in the UK jurisdiction.
Yes, but I don't
Okay.
know your law, so I followed the English law. If required, I can get a statement from my peer reviewer. to
Okay.
say she reviewed it.
Just slow.
No. We don't disclose absolutely everything in our reports,
Okay.
much like the DNA laboratory don't disclose all the batches that were processed and each individual step. We keep our reports
So
fit for
there is
purpose.
certain information that is left behind, right?
We don't disclose every single check that has happened through the process, no.
All right. Without the signature of the peer reviewer, without you indicating on your report that it was actually ever peer reviewed, I have no evidence to confirm that actually that report was ever peer reviewed, correct?
Correct, however,
All right.
I can provide a
I
statement
just-
if required. This is our
It was never
standard.
provided, so we'll go by what you have.
Yeah, if required, I can, but this is standard practice, standard.
At that. As at now, we have established that one, your firm is not ISO accredited. Your work was supposed to be peer reviewed. We have no evidence of review. Do you believe in the authenticity of your work?
Yes, because we cannot gain ISO 17025, and I have full documentation electronically that it has been peer reviewed.
All right. I also believe that you believe in your report because you also believe in your personal competencies as
Yeah.
a forensic practitioner.
Yes, I have 30 years experience in the field, so yes, I am an expert in the field.
All right. So you believe in the authenticity of your report and your findings and your opinions, even when your firm is not ISO 17025 certified.
As I've said, there is no certification for case
Do
review.
you believe in them or not? It's just a simple
It's not
question.
possible to gain ISO 17025, so the relevance of us having it or not, it doesn't affect the work I do. Case review
Okay.
is exempt from any
We
accreditation
will
service.
come to that, Ms. Singley.
So yes, the processes I've followed are fine.
as long as the processes were followed, right?
Yes, which they were.
Let's take the interpretation.
Ebibabirigira mu kukeberwa kiri kikulu muno bibe nibisigikira hali ebizibiti ebiba bizoirwe kandi biina obulingo obubikuhondera obumanyirwe baitu ekihandiko we ekyakozere kiri kimu ekitwara ekikoora ebyabaire birugire okukeberwa okwabaire kukozerwe ira kandi okukozerwe abantu akwesigika kandi aina ebyasigikirweho kandi we abirozere n'amaiso ge we wenyini atakole rundi atabeho n'ekizibiti kyona mu maiso ge baitu akaba nafoora ebihandiiko ebikaba nibikwatagana hali ebizibiti bino kandi nti okusangwa ekikale kikoleremu okukeberwa kiba kitalina obusobozi baitu bisobola kukoleka ebikozere mu buhandiiki ebikurikira hali ebibazoire ekyo ekikalo kiba nisobola kukola omulimu ogwo habwokuba obusobozi buno kali kabonero konka bakitaliwo kyamaanisi byaho obusobozi buno buheebwa kiikalo ekyokebera ekitusobola okwolekya emiringo rundi emitendera y'ebintu ebibaba bakozere kandi okusangwa nti n'omuntu abakozere omulimu guno nasobola kandi rundi amanyirwe nasobola n'okubaliza ebintu ebyakozere kandi alina obusobozi orundi okwetegereza okwokola emirimu etyo ekitongole we ekyakola kyennyini kiina busobozi buno kandi atamanye n'okumanya nti omuntu ayakozere ekihandiika kyeyagalukiremu iwe alina obusobozi kandi ali mukugu buno mu mirimu y'omulingo nga guno yakozere kandi takumanyire nakumanya nti mazimako akaheebwa obusobozi obwokola emirimu akwatumenye baitu okuwuliriza obwataiso bwe obwo nahuliriza ali okuruga mu mulingo gw'ebyoma ebikalimagezi gamba nti nk'esimu niho yayolereze nti aina obutendeke rundi aina obusobozi okukola ebyo ebyakozere kandi nasibwe nti omuntu okutunga obusobozi buno abako asomere muno kandi atendekerwe ali yakolire ebihandiiko bye akaba atamanyire nti obujulizi buno bukaba buhairweho mu lutalo lw'amateeka kandi we okuyaho obutendeke byatugambire obwaina talina butendeke bundi bwona obukoleka kindi olundi obumanyirwe omukwekaguzaho okwabafu kandi omuntu we nk'omuntu olungi omuntu ndi weena tasobola kuba naheebwa obusobozi nk'obwo amazima gali nti tali mukugu mu kwetegereza baitu alina obusobozi baitu alina okwetegereza okusobola galukamu rundi okutunuula ebyobuhangwa bw'omuntu kandi obusomi obulwaira atategeera takyakora hari ebintu nka bino okuruga omwaka gwa 20 okuyika omwaka 2003 akaba nakora hari emisango ya kooti omulimu oguyasembere kora n'engalo ze akagukora mu mwaka gwa 2003 kandi okuhika hati atakagarukamuga okora eby'emirimo omuntu ekitongole kino kigambire nti kikiina busobozi kandi nti oguyakoze lukwa gwinagarukibwamu omuntu ondi nibwo kulekubwa wabaite ekitakoze kandi sahona yatereho omukono omugugufu baitu kandi kino kikiri kikulu muno we halakora munsi eyo okubiyaho bino bikora munsi ezindi nga Scotland wakore ekyo akakikora akimanyire nti kandi kino kijja kuba kikozesebwa omunkora ensi etemu Uganda yo kandi eyina egendera hali amateeka mukaago kandi nti kiri kikulu muno nti buli mwezi bakora bayina kutandiika bulungi okubyolekya kandi bwonza teinaho omuntu ondi aliterera omukono ntakagarukamu ekitandiiko kino olundi ukakwere nti olurajjo olwa gavumenti kirina kizibwa olukoleka nti ekitandiiko kikagarukwamu baitu nabo akwikiririza mulimu gweyakozere habwokuba ayina kumanyiira kw'emirimu enu okukwita emyaka 30 omukiikaro kino gonze ekitongole kyakora kiraba kitakalairwe
Miss Hingley, I am aware that case review is one of the activities that is not provided for under the regulator code.
Correct.
The one we're talking about.
Yes.
However, I would like to draw your attention to section of that regulation, 8.8. 8.8.4.1.
Yes. Page 220. 220.
221, my lord. Where a forensic activity is undertaken as part of case review, you are supposed to be governed by the code. Is that correct?
That's correct, which is why we don't do
Okay.
any primary
That's
examinations
correct.
at all.
That's all we should be missing. It's a point of confirmation. So where a forensic activity is performed as part of the case review process, such an activity, such work should be governed by the code.
Correct, yes.
By that, it means that case will be held in like in isolation of any other things.
That's correct.
I will also take you to Part C of that code, specifically looking at section 34.1.2. 34.
I don't we want to relevance. The witness has
Mr.
said
Thomas.
the work that is before this court is not covered by that. Now, for us to traverse it for academic purposes will not have.
What about 8.4?
Even that one I wrote.
My Lord, we shall. He will know the relevance later. I think he's running ahead of us.
Even that it says if you collect case review together with another process. In this case review was done alone with no other.
He cannot testify, my Lord.
That's what the witness said.
No, the witness has known.
Let me finish. Let me. We cannot simply go on an academic journey to discover everything for us. The witness was very categorical, and the rule in the code at page 218 is clear. So that code does not apply to the case review that she has also said the work I did, which she's here to testify. This witness is not here to lecture. Yes, she has that years, but she's not here to lecture us about everything in the world. She's only here to talk about what she did. For us, therefore, to spend time here reading the code that is not relevant to the work before court. What is the relevance? So let's go to the relevance. Let them critique the work she did. Her report is clear, let's traverse it. Her experience, we cannot go into the code. Questions in cross must only be limited to what is relevant to matters before court. Not anything that is outside.
Does he want,
Not going through
my Lord, does he want to guide court on the law, specifically on what he is putting as a
What
point
questions
of
are
fact?
relevant in cross examination?
My Lord, we will traverse the relevance and all of those details at an appropriate time. For now, surely prosecution is doing its part. We are laying a background for many other things. And if Mr. Tumwebaze can only be patient, at the close of this cross-examination, I am very sure he will see that what he thinks is not relevant is most relevant. And unfortunately, he has to give us time to do our part. He does not expect us to explain. We are doing this because of that. That won't be cross-examination at all. May he, my Lord, be patient with us, with due respect.
The point here is to ensure that we get to our point as fast as possible while having in mind.
I know that is exactly what we are doing. And if I had not been disrupted, by now I would be very far. So please go to 34.1.2.
Yes.
This is page. Are we at 34?
Yes, page 114.
Part C. requires, and if I'm to be specific, 34.1.2, a practitioner who is undertaking any forensic activity under E is required to provide opinions within the limits of your professional competence. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Under 34.1.2J, in conducting your work, you're supposed to conduct casework using demonstrably valid methods. Is that correct?
That's correct, but that refers to the analytical side of casework, which I haven't done.
That's okay. While conducting a case review, you ought to have a methodology, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Look at that exhibit.
Yes,
You did not indicate on it the methodology that you used. Is
There is-
that correct?
there is no specific methodology for case
Okay.
review. It's a personal expert way of creating it. There is no set methodology.
Doesn't matter. You did not indicate it.
That's because there isn't one.
Whether specific or not specific, you did not indicate anything to do with your methodology.
There
is
is-
that correct?
There is no specific methodology into case review. It's a scientific's own expertise. It's not a method, for example, doing one of the analytical stages. It's nothing like that at all. It doesn't have to follow a certain order.
I would therefore be correct to say that you did not have a methodology while you undertook your work.
Because
Correct.
there isn't one.
Just answer me, yes or no?
Yes, there isn't one.
Did you have one or you did not?
There is no methodology.
You did not have any.
There isn't one.
I'll take you to page 3 of your report.
Yes.
Please read it.
From information received?
Purpose of examination.
Oh, purpose. The purpose of my examination was to review the scientific findings reported by Ugandan forensic scientists, specifically in relation to the pistol, item 4, and various ammunition recovered from the home address of Henry Katanga and Molly Katanga, with a review to evaluating the results in the context of the case circumstances.
One of the things you undertook is an evaluation
Correct.
of the results.
Yes.
The evaluation of the results was in the context of this particular case, right?
The first evaluation doesn't bring in any
Is it or is it not?
There is no yes or no to that one, I'm afraid.
But this is what you indicate in your report.
The actual process is that I independently review the DNA profiling results first,
Miss-
and then the evaluation in the context of the case comes in. So it's a two-staged process.
So, Ms. Hingley, should we take it that what you recorded in this your report is not true or it's not correct relating to what you did?
No, it's a true representation of my opinion of the
Okay.
findings.
So, I'll take you to my first earlier question and kindly listen to me carefully. That you provided an evaluation opinion in the context of this case, as you indicate here.
Yes, the final opinion.
That's enough.
Yes.
In the context of the case circumstances.
My final opinion is in the context of the case.
Context. And to give this evaluation that gave rise to your report, you did interpretations.
Yes, I
of the
did.
data.
Yes, of all the DNA profiles.
Did the interpretation of the results. Please repeat. What
Yes,
did
so
you
I
do?
did interpretation of all the DNA profiling results.
So in addition to doing the evaluation, you also provided opinions, right?
Yes, as would be standard.
Please confirm to this court that the evaluation opinions you provide are contained on page 26 of your report.
Yes, they're the final evaluations.
When you go to your code, 331.4.1 that we looked at, section 31.4.1,
Yes.
interpretations and opinions are supposed to be provided by facilities that have ISO 17025 certification. Is that correct?
That only applies
Is
to
that
that only
correct?
applies to the primary examinations, not the defence reviews.
Only applies to primary And not
the primary work
defense-
carried out
And not defense reviews.
and not defence reviews. We are in effect just a paper review, a third check in order to comply with ISO 17025.
That's
All
okay.
laboratories must have that in the first instance.
That's okay, Ms. Singley. Please confirm to this court that actually what you did was a defense review and not a case review that you have been talking about.
They're interchangeable, they're the same. So I was instructed by the defence, and so we refer to it as a defence review, but in
Okay.
effect it's a case review. It's a third review of the scientific findings.
Defense reviews are covered by the court, correct?
No. The code, the only mention of defence reviews is the ability for us to gain the paperwork from the prosecution. The actual physical review is exempt from the codes.
That's fine. But you would like to confirm that indeed your work was to do a defense review.
Yes, or case review.
That's
It's
okay.
interchangeable.
Let's take the interpretation.
Okugarukamu kw'emisango koti kuli kugirwa kugirwa ebiragiro ebiri mu kitabo kino kandi baitu mu kacweka ka 88 katonyeze 4 katonyeze emu kalupapula 224 rukolekya nti kakutangwa habaho ekikolebwa hali okukaguza kw'abafu kinakuba nikikolebwa hansi y'amateeka agali mu kitabo kino baitu kandi kikumanyisa nti ogarukuwamu kw'emisango koti kinakuba nikukolebwa aheeru y'amateeka gano kandi ahandi lupapula lwa 14 koleka nti omukugu weena akola ekintu kyona ayina kuha ebiteekerezo bye okusigikira hali okwetegereza kwe rundi okumanyira kwe kw'emirimu kandi ayina kuba n'omulingo ogwakozesa rundi ogwakubonera okuba ebyatungire baitu kandi tayina mulingo gwona ogweyayolekere ogwakubura kuba yahonjirisa gwokuba haliho taloho omulingo gwona ogumanyirwe rundi ogwiteeka ogwayina kuba n'araba mu baitu kiri kikolwa kya abakugu boona kandi ekitakukolera yona rundi amateeka goona agateibweho nikyo atakirekeire omulingo gwona yakozeseze ekigendererwa ekitandiko ky'ekitaba mu kwetegereza rundi okugarukamu ebyalugiro omukebera ebintu ebingi bingi ebyokolesa ebingi bingi ebyazoirwe okuruga omu maka rundi omunju ya Henry kandi ebyahandikire nibyo byenyini ebyazoire mu mazima gaabyo akoleka nti omutandiko ke kandi akoleka nti akaheereza okwetegereza okukwatagana hali ebyabaireho kandi omulingo byabaireho omusango guno kandi kino akakikola okuruga mu kuhindura ebyalugire mu kwetegereza obuhangwa obw'abantu bwakozerwe mu bitandiiko ebyali nayitegereza, kandi yaheerezako ebiteekerezo bye we obukugu, kandi akukkiriza nti okwetegereza kuno kuli mu bitandiiko kino kalupapula 26 ebitandiiko bye ebyakozere, kandi okutegeeza kulina kuba nikuheebwa omuntu lundi ekitongole kaire obusobozi kubaita kabire kino kikwatagana hali kikwatagana hali ebiteekerezo lundi hali ebyokugarukamu okukwatagana na hali okutonganirwa, kandi nti ekyakozere kaba kugarukamu ekyandiiko habwa ensonga ez'okutonganirwa kandi nikyo yakozere, kandi nikyo bakukyetera ekihandiiko ekya okutonganirwa.
Miss Hingley, back to the code. When you look at the section 31.4,
Yes.
on opinions and interpretations,
Yes.
you will also confirm to 31, I said 31.4. It gives general provisions relating to opinions and interpretations. Is that correct?
That's correct.
In that your report, you gave interpretations. Is that correct?
Oh, I do. Yes.
Also, in that your report, you provided opinions, not so?
Yes.
Okay. Under 31, under 31.4,
Yes.
point 2,
Yes.
the expert shall provide clarity.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
If you look at 31.4.2, I am reading now B.
Thank you.
It requires that there should be clarity in any report as to the source or sources of data forming the evaluative opinion. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Also, experts providing opinion in C. Shall be demonstrably competent to do so.
Yes.
Under D, it calls for the use of statistical models and any assumptions involved in the interpretation and opinion to be set out in the report.
Correct.
And 31.4.6
Yes.
provides for evaluative opinions.
Yes.
31.4.6.
Yes.
By the reading of this, it covers all opinions and interpretations, right?
For the first review, yes.
Where is it indicated that is only for the first review? Look at the section and show me that
All-
it refers to the first review.
All of these refer to a laboratory that initially requires the accreditation. The case review is not part of this. This is purely for the initiating the Crown laboratory, not for the.
And I put it to you that part of the work you did brings you squarely in the management of this, to which you were not actually competent to undertake, Ms. Hingley.
That's not correct at all. Despite us not having to adhere to this, all my reasoning, all my evaluations are
I'll
throughout my
demonstrate to you that.
report and clearly demonstrated as to how I reached my opinion. Yes, my interpretations and evaluations presented in my report are fully transparent, and at every stage in my report explain the information I have used. I haven't used any statistical evaluations, and I have not offered an evaluative opinion.
At page 26,
Yes,
you provide opinions from your evaluations.
yes, that's correct.
Do you agree with me that in a case review, you are restricted to offering opinions within the confines of the report under review?
I have no restrictions other than my expertise in the particular area.
So you should be restricted to the report under review, correct?
I'm restricted to what was provided to me, yes.
I am referring to the report under review.
So the report, the raw data, etc. Yes.
The report under review and the information provided to her. Is that what you correct?
Yes, but it doesn't prevent me giving my opinion.
No. Your opinion should be based on that.
Yes, it is.
I have no restrictions except my expertise. And then I have said it. So I have no restrictions except my expertise. That was the answer to the first question. Follow-up question, then my lord. That we need to get.
My lord, if yes, my lord.
You asked about what happened in this. She said, I am confined
Yes,
to the report under review.
and the information provided.
Isn't that what
Yeah, as long as it's in my
Yes.
realm of expertise.
find report under review and the information
Provided.
as long as
In your years of experience, you should be and must know about the hierarchy of propositions within the DNA framework.
Yes, I do.
And these are source level proposition which considers the question, whose DNA is this? Is that correct?
Source level includes body fluid, so who the blood,
Yeah,
etc. The
It doesn't
sub-level,
matter whether it's coming from, but
there is
source,
a sub-
it means whose DNA it is.
there's
Is that
actually
correct?
a level before that, and that is purely for cellular DNA. So the first level is where a body fluid's involved, and actually there's a sub-level one, which
So
is
we
where
have-
it's cellular only.
Okay.
So what is source level proposition?
So the first proposition is determining who the DNA originates from.
And that is what is that?
So that is level, source level one, but that
Yes.
that refers to when a body fluid is present. So for example, the blood originated from so-and-so, the semen originated from so-and-so. We now
So-
have a sub-level one, which is purely for cellular DNA, when we can't determine the biological nature of DNA, but we are interested in who that DNA might have originated
Miss
from.
Hingley, you don't have to talk too much, just state. Source level is to whose DNA it is largely.
There's two levels of source DNA,
Okay,
one being bodily fluid and the other just being pure DNA.
yes. But basically, it answers the question.
Source, as
Who,
where it's coming
yeah,
from.
where did that DNA originate from? Who
Okay,
did that DNA originate from?
that was simple. This DNA. Can I continue? She says
Source level proposition
refers to.
basically refers to where the DNA is.
Those were her own questions. My question was specific, and she agrees with me that when we are talking about source, we are basically referring
In
to
scientific
whose.
terms, there are two levels of source.
We shall come to the levels, but we are
When you talk about source level proposition,
Yes,
does it refer to DNA
who the
comes from?
DNA has originated from.
okay.
No more.
The other is activity level proposition.
That's correct, level two.
The question here now shifts to how did the DNA get there?
Correct.
Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
The third or the next would be offense level proposition.
That's correct, that's level three.
The question here now becomes, did this person commit the crime? Is
Correct.
that-
Yes.
You'll also agree with me that the last proposition, which is offense, who committed this offense,
Yes,
is a preserve of court.
absolutely. Yes, scientists cannot address that.
In your review of prosecution exhibit 6,
Is that their
that is
report?
the DNA report.
Okay, thank you.
Did it cover any aspects of activity or offense level?
No,
Did it cover? All offense level. Did PW8's report cover any activity level propositions?
No.
Please confirm to this court that PW8's report that you reviewed only dealt with source level propositions.
It did, yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm a bit uncomfortable with the constant reference to the DNA report as PW8's report. My lord will see that DNA report, PW8 signs as the reviewer. So I think we should just stick to quality.
DNA report.
Yes, so DNA report of the DNA report. Madam President, we testify that it is his report. That is a matter directly in issue.
The question is
So-
referring to the DNA.
Yes. So, and my lord, whose DNA report is it? I thought,
It's number 8.
Mr. Karuhanga, will you be patient with me? So you have known what I'm raising already because you've answered it, even before I ask it, my lord.
My lord, can I be allowed to continue? That's okay. In the instructions you received from your principals, did they inform you? And also, since you said that you listened to the evidence of PW8, were you informed that that report only concerned itself with source level propositions?
Yes.
I will then take you to page 28 of your report.
Yes.
You make propositions there, page 28, you make propositions there that form the basis of your opinion on page 29.
Yes,
Is that correct?
that's correct.
Propositions you make are one, that Molly fired the pistol.
Correct.
The second proposition is that Molly did not fire the pistol.
Correct.
Please confirm to this court that the question of whether or not a person fired is at offense level.
No, that's activity level. The offence level would be murdered.
So it is at
Activity,
level.
yes.
All right. Please also confirm to this court that the empirical data you had was for source level and not activity level. Is that correct?
The data is used in different ways, and
Please confirm that the data you had was for source level propositions and not activity level propositions.
the information received enables me to take it to activity level. The data
Okay.
itself does not
That's
determine
okay.
which level you report at.
The information you received allowed you to take the analysis.
You can take the scientific findings to the activity level. How the Crown have, or the initial scientist has reported the findings does not determine at which level I can report the case at.
To come to a conclusion on activity level propositions missingly,
Yes.
one must interrogate all intervening factors. Isn't that the position?
As best as possible, yes.
Come to conclusions at the activity level.
One must interrogate all intervening positions. One must interrogate all intervening activities. The interrogation of the intervening activities forms part of the data that you're supposed to use in coming up with the propositions. Is that correct?
Yes, that's part of it.
And in this particular case, you did not have that data, correct?
No, I had the
Okay,
information
you have
from the
read it.
crime scene, the laboratory.
Interrogation of intervening activities forms part of the data you're supposed to use.
Yes.
To
Form a final evaluative opinion regards activity.
She said she did not have the information.
So in order to form that, I've used the information contained
Can I
in the
ask you my
scene
question
examiner.
again? Because I don't know what you're responding to. The question I gave you was that to come to a conclusion on activity level proposition, one must have had empirical data that would guide and would form the basis of making such an opinion.
It doesn't have to
Isn't
be
that
in
correct?
It doesn't have to be in the form of empirical data. Data received just via information of case handling is enough. It doesn't have to be
And
any
according
numerical.
to you,
So now that leaves this interrogation of intervening activities.
I can make a follow-up question on that.
Suppose I had forgotten that the interrogation of intervening activities form part of the data I'm supposed to use to form a final evaluating opinion regarding activity.
Okay.
So are we moving to the next?
Yes, my lord.
Is that it?
Yes, so we use all the information available to us to form that final opinion.
So
Let us follow up.
Madam, I'm saying the answer.
Can I ask.
Another question, that's when she asked the question. So I wanted to pick up on it. What I have. Proceed.
Okay, my lord. Other than the source level empirical data that you received, you did not have any other independent data to opine either on offense or activity level.
I
Not
had,
so.
I had the information contained in the scene examiner's report
Okay.
where I directly lifted the images of the firearm on the bed, the handling of the firearm, and then the subsequent laboratory examination, all of which formed part of my evaluation of the final findings.
So you had the information contained in
The scene of crime report,
Mhm.
of which I used the images of the firearm on the bed,
Mhm.
equally the image of an individual holding the firearm,
Mhm.
the image of the firearm apparently being on the floor,
Mhm.
the images create within the DNA examination report showing the firearm underneath its packaging.
Okay. What you have just told court is basically photos.
Yes,
so.
those photos represent what happened at that scene, and that is the only information I have available. I requested the contemporaneous notes, but was not
All right.
given them.
Do those photos speak to what happened at the scene at the time of the shooting?
No, but what it's
Okay,
showing is the
that's
ability
enough.
for DNA to transfer from the scene
No,
examination.
Miss Singley, you have answered me. All I needed was a yes or a no. Do they speak to that, to the time of shooting?
No, there's no information when they were taken.
You could do the interpretation.
akazoza okumanyisibwa nti ekiwandiiko kino kyakaba kyagarukamu kikaba nikikora muno muno aha endugiriro kandi arupapura 28 olwo ekiwandiiko eki kyakozere akwoleka nti ebiroho ebikuha ebitekerezo ebyahaire harupapura namba 29 kandi bino bikwolekya nti kimu mole akarasa kandi ekyakabiri mole akarase kandi yakwikiriza nti ekikaguzo ekya oha yarasire ekikaguzo kyoha yarasire kiri handugiriro baitu kiri hamutendera ogwa ebikorwa kandi amahoro rundi okumanyisa okuyatungire kaba nikumuha obusobozi rundi nikumuha endagiro okuhika hali ebyakozerwe kandi nti okuhika hali hamalira ebyakozerwe ebyakozerwe omuntu bulungi omukugu weena ayina kukabuliriza muno ebintu byona ebyabaireho njomu kandi kino kikwoleka lundi kikubazaho ebyabaireho habwire okurasa.
Just please confirm to this court that those photos you're referring to, there are processing of the scene, and they don't speak to the activities at the time of shooting.
That's
Not so.
correct.
As a scientist, what empirical data did you derive from the photos?
From the photos, it's opportunities for DNA to transfer from the surface on which the firearm was to
That's all.
to the firearm.
Okay. And that-
Yes, so, and then poor practice by
Okay.
handling the firearm with a gloved hand. The lack of personal protective equipment increases the likelihood of the individuals
and please
transferring
confirm
DNA
that-
at the scene.
Okay. Please confirm that the photo you're referring to, the officer was actually wearing a glove.
He
Right?
was wearing gloves, but
Yes.
nothing else, and there was no information
Just
about when that
answer
glove.
me.
Whilst he was wearing gloves,
Was
that
he
doesn't
putting
protect.
on gloves or not?
He was wearing gloves, but that
enough.
does not protect the items at the scene from transfer via that glove.
Were you there at that scene?
No, hence I can only suggest
So you
that
can only assume.
I have asked for further information and it has not been provided. It provides a source for transfer.
We saw that there were opportunities for DNA to transfer from where DNA would have been to the firearm,
Yes,
and in the photos you are referring to, the officer was wearing.
they were
Yes.
gloved, but no other protective equipment at all. And therefore I raised the question of how that scene was processed, whether by one individual, multiple individuals,
Miss
or how
Hingley,
regularly they changed their gloves, the glove then becoming a clear vector for transfer of DNA.
Miss Hingley, what you are just talking about is actually speculative. Not so. You are
It's,
speculating of what could have and what could not have.
it's not possible to do anything else in the absence of any documents presented to me.
She said she could not do.
Because there was no
Yes.
That was batch earlier.
that is the opportunity to transfer.
Yes.
Yes. But the opportunity
Please confirm to this court that you have no information as to what actually happened at the scene.
I have the scene report and that's
Only.
all I have.
Okay.
but I know how DNA transfers, and hence those
We will
images
go
were
to
highly
that. We will go
significant.
to that. We will go to that. You therefore cannot confirm or conclusively
No, it's
on
never,
what
it's never possible to
could
confirm
have
conclusively.
happened or what could not have happened.
No, but there's significant
cannot.
risk of contamination via the
cannot
processing
confirm.
of the scene.
Just
It's not
answer my
possible to
questions.
confirm.
You
No.
cannot confirm.
No one can confirm. No one.
She cannot confirm what happened and what could not have happened at the scene. That one she said for herself.
The images demonstrate a significant risk of transfer of DNA through the processing of the scene.
We will talk about those images, Miss Hingley, so don't go ahead of yourself.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you agree with me that scientific findings should be based on empirical evidence and not conjecture or wishful thinking?
If there
Do
is no
you
science,
agree
if
with
there is
me?
no scientific support for the opinion, then absolutely. However, there is grounds and scientific support for the use of those photographs in this case.
Do you agree with me that scientific findings should be based on empirical evidence and not conjecture or wishful thinking?
It's certainly not wishful thinking.
I'm asking you, do you agree with me?
If there is empirical data, then yes, that should be used. However, it does not negate the use of other information contained within case papers.
But you agree that it should be.
If it is at all possible, empirical data, but it does not negate, as long as you can underpin your opinions with the scientific evidence, then that forms part of the standard review.
Okay. So wishful thinking is not part of it.
No, absolutely not. Any opinion is
And then
based on
also-
information.
And then also conjecture is also not part of it.
No, there must be sound reasoning behind every opinion presented.
And I agree. My lord, it is one. I don't know how long we should.
30 minutes.
No problem. Okay. Okay. No problem at all. Shall we take the interpretation? Oh, you don't have much. Okay. We will go to page 3 of your report.
Yes.
The postmortem report was one of the documents you reviewed.
Yes, it was.
And under paragraph 2, information received,
Yes.
you indicate that no bullet fragments were detected during examination of the head, suggesting that the bullet wounds observed by both ears comprise the entry and exit wound of a single bullet.
Yes, that's what I understand.
When you, that's what she understands. When you use the word suggesting, you are drawing an inference. Correct?
I'm using the information present, yes. No more.
And you have just said that when you use the word suggesting, you're drawing an inference of what you have understood.
Yes, absolutely. I haven't examined it. This is purely what was in the pathology report, that no bullet fragments were found. It bears no scientific impact on my findings at all.
Do you agree that postmortem reports are done by pathologists?
Absolutely. And I am not a pathologist, so I purely use the information contained in there.
I'll take you to section 8.8 of your code. Of section 8.8.5. Page 220. Yes, my lord. Section 8.8.5. Have you
Yes.
reached there?
Yes.
In conducting a case review, you are actually prohibited from doing analysis on postmortems and medical care.
I have made no analysis at all. I bear no. The absence of a bullet would suggest it has gone. That's not a scientific opinion. That is based
So-
on the information provided.
What I should take from you is that you did not do any analysis,
Not on the
Of-
post-mortem at all.
but you did a review of the postmortem.
I'd read it purely to gain the information of whether there were bullets inside the head or not. It was purely for information, hence it didn't form part of my disclosed main information used. It's purely just for demonstration that that's the pathology as said, no more.
Okay. So, according to you, you read it simply to get what the pathologist said, right?
Yes, as we ordinarily do, yes.
Which part of that report said that there were bullet wounds observed by both ears comprised the entry wound of a single bullet? Actually, you said,
I don't know if
you said that, if I may read your report, no bullet fragments were detected during the examination of the head, that the bullet wounds observed by both ears comprised the entry and exit wound of a single bullet wound, of a single bullet. Which of them said that specifically?
I couldn't point you to the exact area, I'm sorry.
You reviewed these documents.
Yes, but
Didn't you?
it was purely for information. I haven't referred to specific pages.
But you drew inferences out of this report,
This
didn't you?
was purely for information. Those inferences didn't affect my scientific findings at all. I can't comment on the pathology findings at all. But there was
Just a minute, Miss Singley. Would you like to share your memory with the report?
if I can see it.
You received it.
I have it electronically. If you're happy with me using the electronic version.
Look at it and tell me where it said that both ears comprised the entry and exit wound of a single.
So the document I have was the Uganda Police post-mortem report, which was reflective of the post-mortem on the 2nd of the 11th, 2023, and on 2 under injuries. It says satellite-shaped gunshot entry wound. Further on that paragraph, through the right external auditory, there's a satellite-shaped gunshot wound, and it says that the bullet hit the left temporal skull. So there is no mention, and it's bullet singular. And again, later on in that paragraph, the bullet entered the left temporal brain lobe. And again, throughout into the midbrain, into the right temporal lobe, and the bullet singular all the way through. The bullet on its way further hit, and this is the information I have taken, that there was an entry and an exit wound by the ears, and that singular bullet was used in all the report.
So now, if you read that information and you say it is only for information purposes, when you indicate in your report suggesting, is that for information purposes or for you to draw conclusions?
Purely for information purposes.
And yet you make suggestions in your information, isn't that?
I've used that. There's no specific, nowhere in the report does it say a single bullet was used. It's saying that there everywhere is singular bullet, and therefore this report is suggesting that. I say no further, and a pathologist would need to confirm.
So meaning that you included information that was not there in the report, right?
The information is in the report, and in my opinion, whilst it doesn't specifically state a single bullet, it does state that there are injuries to both ears, and it has been referred to entry and exit wound. And from there on, it says the trajectory of the bullet singular through the brain. So that report is suggesting. No more, there's no evaluation associated with
Hold
that.
on, Ms. Singley. That report has not suggested. It is you suggesting.
The report has mentioned a bullet, that there are injuries to both ears, and therefore this is suggesting that there was a single bullet. Nowhere
That you made suggestions.
I have interpreted what that the pathology is saying,
Okay.
even though it does
Just a minute,
not.
let's record what
So,
you have said. You
assuming,
have
suggesting,
interpreted.
I
let's
haven't there's no interpretation. This is a reading of a document where there's no specific classification or clarification that there was a bullet. It is merely using that information that there is no reference at all to more than one bullet. The trajectory only mentions one, and therefore this report is suggesting. I am not saying anything beyond that, and there is certainly no interpretation of this meaning of that. It's merely me carrying over information provided to me from this report.
That is the information that was in the postmortem report.
In the
and
post-mortem
DNA.
report, it clearly says that there are injuries and entry and an exit wound by both ears, and that the trajectory was always referred to as bullet singular.
What was the significance of using that in your report when it was not forming part
It
of
was-
your analysis?
It's just general information as to, for example, if the pathologist had said it's a stab injury, the gun becomes insignificant. So it's the fact that the pathologist has said it's gunshot wound, and we're looking at two injuries where it's in and out. So there's nothing in that brain that can actually help the forensic evaluation. So therefore, the examination of the bullets found at the scene is the right approach. No more than that. Doesn't affect my overall interpretation at all.
So I'll take it that when you looked at the postmortem report, according to you, was only for information purposes, right?
Yes, that's correct. We'd look at post-mortem for any arterial damage,
That's
for
okay. You
specific
have
blood
answered
stain.
me.
That's what I use the
You have
pathologist for.
answered me. While you take it for information purposes, you draw inferences and conclusions as to what should be or should not be, right?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
While it is supposed to simply provide you with information, you made suggestions as to what it should be,
No, there's
or
no.
what it should not be,
No, there's
or
no.
what could be.
No, there's no interpretation of that report whatsoever, other than there were two injuries and there's no fragments, and the term bullet indicates that it's gone straight through. Therefore, there's no forensic opportunity for fragments which may have been found. It's a standard approach to post-mortem reports to see if anything useful could be used in a strategy.
That's fine. So, when you use the word suggesting, that was your understanding of what the report was talking about, not so?
Yes, that's my interpretation of that report. There's no evaluation associated with that. I don't know if this
That's
report
okay.
is robust
That was
or
your,
not.
your interpretation.
Yes.
That's fine. I would therefore be correct to say you read the postmortem report and gave your interpretations about the report. Not so.
No, there's no interpretation whatsoever in clearly suggesting is the wrong word here, but it was no implication that I have evaluated this at all. The information I have is there are injuries to both ears and the bullet trajectory is in and out and there's no fragments in the brain. That would be all I would ever use a pathology report for. Sorry.
Ebisisani bino ebya muhaire kibiina ekibikola kalungi ekikubazaho hali ekintu ekyabaireho habwire obw'okurasa kandi omukugu akusobola kwetegereza ebyabaireho akutegereza nti omu byabaireho habaho okuhingisanisa rundi okutwara obwanga bw'omuntu okuruga ha kicweka kimu okugaruka ha kindi rundi okuruga hali ekintu kimu okugaruka ha kintu ekindi habwokuba nti abali nibakora hali bino bakaba bajwaire obuveera bw'engaro baitu tikikwetegerezebwa nti rundi bakaba nibahindura kuli bakaba nibajja kukwata kintu ekindi kandi nabo hakabaho obuterinda obukumara ekikoleka nti kandi rundi kikaba nikiha omugisa hali okuba nibatwara okuruga ha kicweka kimu okugenda ha kicweka kindi rundi okuruga hali ekintu ekimu okugenda ha kintu ekindi kandi kino akitegereza akakitegereza nti habwokuba haliho amahoro gona rundi okumanyisibwa kwona okukoleka nti bakaba balina okwerinda okukumara. Akabaina aina ekihandiiko ekikwata hali ekicweka kino ekyabaireho emisango kandi ekyakolirweho omusango baitu ekyatakusobola kutugambira rundi kumalira nikwo nti ebyabaireho hali ebikwata nali ebyabaireho rundi ebitabaireho ha kicweka kino. Okuzoorwa kw'abakalimagezi abasayansi binakuba nikusigikira hali ebintu rundi okumanyisibwa okw'amazima baitu hatali eby'omuntu atekereize butekereza rundi eby'omuntu akurora baitu ainakuba haliho okumanyisibwa okw'amaani kandi okw'amazima. Akagarukamu rundi aketegereza ebaruha eyakozerwe hali okufa kw'omugenzi Henry kandi yayitegereza nti obucakacuweka bw'esasi bukaba butasangiweho ha mutwe kandi ekikoleka nti hakabaho ekihooya kimu kyonka ekyatahirwemu n'ekyaturukirwemu eisasi okusigikira hali ebyayitegereize omukusoma omu baruha eno kandi akwikiriza nti kino kiba kikozerwe abakora rundi abadakitari abokwekaguzaho habwebya okufa. Omu kacweka ka 88/5 harupapura 2020 omu kihandiiko kino rundi omu kitabu ekirimu amateeka kikoleka nti omuntu bw'aba nagarukamu omusango rundi nayitegereza ekintu kyona ekikwatagane n'omusango alina okukugirwa nti okukugirwa okwaina kuba nakora hali ebintu byenyini ebyakumanya kandi kino ekitakozerwe kandi amazima gali nti atasome ekihandiiko kino okukitegeeza rundi okugarukamu baitu akaba nayenda bwenda kumanya nti bano badaktari bakaba ne bagamba ki kandi amazima gatakusobola kutwoleka henyini hali biri nti ekikoya kino kaba nti alikoya ekimu kandi neizasi limu baitu okuruga mu byayetegereize lundi mu byasomeremu bikoleka nti yasomeremu bikoleka nti hakabaho eisasi limu kandi tumalisa nti haliho ekikoya kimu baitu amazima gali nti akaba nagisoma okutunga butunga amagezi baitu hatali kugigarukamu.
Now,
Which one? Exhibits 29.